galactic sentient broadcast. Target, planet Earth. Begin invasion in 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, invaders. My name is Scott. This is Book Invasion. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about an awesome horror trilogy that I recently finished by Michael Clark. And this is the Patience of a Dead Man trilogy. And I listened to all three on audiobook. The author was kind enough to send me some audiobook codes, which were, the audio narration of this was fantastic. And he also had sent me some awesome swag. Michael Clark books. This is Mildred. Patience of a Dead Man trilogy from Michael Clark. Mildred Wells. The art is by Chad Whirl. And he also got some cool stickers, a coaster, a signed book plate. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Michael Clark, for sending me all this stuff. Thank you so much. Go check out Michael Clark books. So book one, Patience of a Dead Man, starts off as a true haunting story. So the story follows Tim Russell, a down on his luck kind of guy who just got over a divorce from his not evil, but his wife, and he has 2 daughters. And so he kind of dropped everything. He runs his own construction company, and he bought this like sweet fixer-upper house in the woods on Lancaster Hill Road. That road is always going to be burned in my head. Lancaster Hill Road. So the book starts out with him revamping and starting to work through this house and redoing the interior and doing some new things. And then some strange phenomenon starts happening. Your classic kind of haunting story. He sees things out the window, and then when he goes out to follow what it was, it's gone. It's kind of strange things like that where he just chalks it up to like, there's some things he sees up in the turrets of this house. And some old books and things like that, where you kind of get to understand a little bit of where the story comes from, and then this whole haunting thing kind of comes to fruition. It comes to light. So book one is really about setting the atmosphere and setting the stage for this haunting. And when I had the audiobook of this, I'd reached out to the author and I was like, hey, do you have a map of kind of what the house is like? And so I found out there's actually a map in the physical copy of the book. And so when I looked at it online, it was really exactly how I had imagined it in my head, about like the picture of the house and the way it looks and the layout of the house too. It was really strange. So I had gotten this book through audio and I was listening to it. And then I went after I listened to it, I went online and kind of looked at the pictures and the layout. And I was like, yes, this is exactly it. He did such a great job in his writing and setting the atmosphere about seeing the house through the trees from the street, and you can kind of see it and kind of not. And then there's like a lake next to it and a forest. It was really great how this house kind of came to be, and the writing of that atmosphere really came to light. So that was awesome. So book one is kind of your excellent kind of haunting tale, the way that he surrounds you with these smells and these sounds and the flies, and the eeriness of the whole book was really great. So Patience of a Dead Man, if you want a good haunting story, definitely check that book out, and it'll sure hook you. I'm positive to read book 2. So book 2 is Dead Woman Scorned, and book 2 covers kind of the history of this Mildred Wells that you get to learn. And this is the picture of Mildred. So you get to understand a little bit about how Mildred Wells got to be Mildred Wells. It goes through kind of her story, how she turned into this being, and how she turned into this, quote, revenant. And there's more about who she got her powers kind of from, how it all came to fruition. There's a special book that has an origin story throughout this, and how she was treated as a child, and her growing up, and then kind of meeting Thomas Pike and having their son Elmer, how that relationship kind of all came to be. And so that was a really good kind of second book. So it's a really good story. It touches a little bit about Tim, we kind of shift off of his story onto then Mildred's, but it really gets you into the deep, the anger and the frustration that Mildred has dealing with Tim Russell and how he had played a part in separating her from her husband and child in book 1. So that was Dead Woman Scorned. That's a really excellent book. If you read the first one, I highly recommend reading the second. And then book 3, Anger is an Acid. That one was the finale, the grand finale, the main kind of pinnacle battle between Tim Russell and Mildred Wells and how they can just, sort it out. And then there's a few other new players in the story. There's a few other new players in the story that come with their own backstory and how they have a history with this. And it kind of culminates into this bit of a shift of perception about the motives, so to speak, and realizing that after all of this time, hundreds of years that Mildred have kind of roamed the earth, what is she all doing it for? And how is this even going to give her any reconciliation or any peace with herself, continuing this behavior and continuing to haunt and torture people? The finale of this story, of this trilogy, kind of has a good solid ending, and it has a different shift, and it kind of shifts your perspective the whole time about what was going on. But the whole trilogy was really well done. I want to thank Michael Clark for sending me the audiobooks of this. The narration of this was fantastic. I would recommend you check all of these out. Even reach out to the author. He's a super awesome guy. He may send you some swag. But definitely, if you want some horror, some great horror tales, and a great haunting, definitely check out the Patience of a Dead Man trilogy. It was very awesome. I would give all these books 5 stars. If you like some more horror stuff, some fantasy and sci-fi stuff, be sure to like and subscribe, everybody. Thank you so much. I will see you later. Bye.